Hello there, thank you so much for joining us on the news desk with me, Amos Zulu, One Zambia, One Nation. Here are the top stories. President Hakainde Hichilema expected on the Copper Belt. Over 700 households left homeless in Choma. Chiefs convene to tackle child marriage. Plus, Chipata United Football Club dominate Eastern League. And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema is on 15th February 2023 expected to be on the Copper Belt, where he is earmarked to engage the people in the province on a number of development issues and challenges affecting them. Provincial Minister Elisha Matambo has announced at a press briefing that the visit of the head of state will result in the commissioning of a 33-megawatt solar power plant for the Copper Belt Energy Corporation, CEC, and a $10 million United States dollars manufacturing plant for unit garments in dollar.
Copper Belt Province Minister Elisha Matambo has announced that President Hakainde Hichilema is expected to be on the Copper Belt on Wednesday to commission the 300-megawatt solar power plant for the Copper Belt Energy Corporation. While on the Copper Belt, the president is earmarked to commission the $10 million US dollar manufacturing plant in Ndola for Unity Garments, a company involved in the manufacturing of a wide range of industrial and protective clothing, including worksuits, workwear, and cutters for hospitality industries. Mr. Matambo is happy that the commissioning of this manufacturing plant will create jobs for the local people.
President Hakainde Hichilema wants to engage the people of Copper Belt from time to time, so I think going forward he will be visiting this province regularly so that he can learn the challenges which the people on the Copper Belt are facing. Actually, he wants to make Copper Belt as his almost second home. So we wanted the people to know that the president will be around starting tomorrow.
The minister highlighted that the president will also meet the mine suppliers to ensure that they move in the same direction in unlocking the difficulties they encounter in their operations.
I think you've seen him trying to sort out the issues to do with load shedding by encouraging several investors to come and invest in the area of energy. And I think the function which we've been key to is to do with the additional solution to load shedding. So,
Tovini Ngombe, Zanis.
Minister of Infrastructure and Urban Development Charles Milupi says government has this year made budgetary provision to install 135 agro bridges across the country. Mr. Milupi said this during the commissioning of the Lunchu Agro Bridge in Kapirimposhi district. Details in the following report.
Not long ago, Lunchu Bridge in Kapirimposhi district was a death spot as some people lost lives crossing to either side. But this is no more following the installation of a new agro bridge here at the cost of over 4.2 million kwacha. Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Charles Milupi has commissioned the bridge, directing the Road Development Agency to expedite the procurement process for installation of similar infrastructure across the country.
The intention is that this construction be done within the shortest possible time to ease the movement of our people. As you have quite rightly said, there are 7 more bridges that have been allocated to this province. Please work with us at the ministry and also at RDA to make sure that the province also gets a fair share of the bridges to be installed during this year.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the RDA, procured a total of 131 prefabricated modular agro bridges from the USA at a total cost of US dollars 73.78 million. These bridges are designed for specific sites in 7 out of the 10 provinces in our country.
The commissioning of the bridge is a relief to the local leadership, as it will ease movement of the people in the area.
What we are witnessing today is the fulfillment of the United Party for National Development's promise to expand and improve the country's infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, among others, as they are key to realizing sustainable economic development. Us here in Kapiri, this bridge is pivotal because this road is busy. We also want to busy minister because here in Kapiri, all of us to me. So, Pakti, if you're to let him the things we cultivate here for them to move to where the market is, this bridge was a problem.
Residents of Lunchu now share their joy.
A bridge, ni bridge. Yeah, it took from 2015. From 2015, in everyone to have a bridge up a bank.
Zanis reports in Kaprimposhi District, Central Province.
Meanwhile, Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development Elias Mwanga says government is making progress towards revamping the economy. Mr. Mwanga says government is dedicated to restoring the economy by involving the citizens in the development process. The minister made the remarks when he addressed heads of government departments in Shiwangandu district in Muchinga province. He explained that government has identified the Constituency Development Fund as a strategy that can help to develop constituencies countrywide. And Mr. Mwanga has since cautioned relevant authorities in Shiwangandu district not to politicize CDF and other government programs which have been put in place to benefit all Zambians. Now, over 700 households have so far been left homeless in Choma district of Southern Province following the collapse of their houses due to heavy rains and floods. District Commissioner Sikaleya Gamela has since appealed for more tents as the district has only received 50. Details in the following report.
BP was in the toilet. Iguya gutinenta gwenganda njo kwa gutieni musogwe. Ndagomba implement sina ibwenete. Engubo mugati pepe no matata busu mugati omo ikugambaro zutugurya gwabotu gonse mandipa no mama.
She is full of nothing but praises for the aid received. Sophia Monkombwe is among the 50 families left homeless after houses collapsed due to heavy rains at Namuswa Ward in Choma. The District Disaster Management Committee has been working with Care International to provide relief to households affected by the calamity in Choma.
We received some food items from DMMU, who've been very supportive to the district committee. We received meal and we received beans. We also received carpenter and some tents. Yes. So as a committee, we came on the ground and today we are distributing.
We've brought in some non-food items. In addition to that, we are going to provide cash in line with the emergency cash transfer. We'll bring in some non-food items for more words, but for the cash, for emergency response, we are just going to give 150 in Choma, 150 in Kalomo, as well as in Monze.
The beneficiaries are grateful. However, more help is needed.
The total number of houses that were in this state, I think there are about 700. As a district, we don't have so many tents, and I think let me take this opportunity to appeal to well-wishers to come to our aid. Otherwise, we have a very, very big crisis with regards to accommodation.
Checking a mugati gajo janamusa. With my pens in my party. Would I jirobe mugati? Bantubalan Zaranga 5 days.
Runia Sakala, Zanis, in Choma, Southern Province.
The continued flooding of streams in Vubi district in Eastern Province is making it difficult for health authorities to access suspected cholera patients as the bridges are submerged in water. Lovas Mutafela has the rest of the story.
Heavy rainfall that has been experienced during this year's rainy season has continued to damage crossing points in some parts of the country. In Feburary district, several bridges are submerged in water, making it difficult for the residents to access social amenities. The strong current is threatening to wash away the bridge and the people are worried.
tiganizireko ngani aka bridge atatifakirako bridge ikuru mwina tingathandizikewo because vana va skuru vambiri vamavuti kuenda kuskuru kama zula fast zotipempha bome tithandizireko kuti tifakireko bridge yaikuru apa kuti mwina vana va skuru vakazipitako kuskuru fast.
On a daily basis, Charles Tembo helps these children to cross the bridge whenever it gets flooded.
Tipempha kuboma kuti tiganizireko pa ma bridges kuno kwatu because chipatala tiuzinga kumbandi masikuzi ali kumbandi so iyi bridge mamene mwaionera pasogoleri imanje manzi yakazula fast pazagamuka nishivana watu vazavutika dzamboswa kuenda kuchipatala na matandizo enangu dzambovutika because of bridge amene izajuwika pa manje.
District administration is aware of the challenge.
Our pupils are having challenges to access the schools. Our mothers and everyone else are facing challenges to access the health facilities. Even us as government, we are facing serious challenges to access with our ambulances to access these facilities so that we rescue these lives, especially now that we've got cholera. Just last week we had incidences where our vehicle had failed to access the other point to pick up a cholera suspect.
Reporting for Zanis in Feburary district, I'm Lubasim Tafela.
In other news, Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Grandson Katambi has called on the people in the province to exercise patience to enable government to implement the developmental plans it has for them. Speaking during a media briefing, Colonel Katambi said there are a number of projects that government has lined up for the province under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, and Private-Public Partnership, PPP, in 2023. The Permanent Secretary went on to mention that plans are already underway to work on township roads. And Colonel Katambi said township roads have been one of the outcries for the people for a long time, but the cry will soon be no more in the near future. He further stated that among the economical roads that will be worked on is the Kipushi, Kasempa Mumbwa, and Mutanda Chimbe roads, among others.
Come April, May, Sorezi will not be the same. I'm just coming from a meeting. Most of these roads will be turned. Most of these roads. And I've already told you, the Manyinga road connecting Minunga, all those roads. And the president himself has committed himself. He doesn't want people from Minunga, Keleng, Kanumbila coming through Mtanda. And that road is already being worked on. Mind if you have been to Mehewa, there's already a road there that has been done, going all the way to Matebo. You have seen. So what he wants is people from Minunga should not pass through here. They should go through Mehewa, Kasempa, Mumbwa, they do the business and they come back.
One of the stories making headlines in our news, 42 traditional leaders from Malawi, Mozambique, and Zambia are meeting for a 3-day workshop to deal with the challenges of child marriage. Provincial Permanent Secretary of Eastern Province, Paul Tole, has urged the chiefs to sustain the fight against child marriage in the 3 countries. More in the following report.
42 Chawa traditional leaders from Malawi, Mozambique, and Zambia are meeting in Chipata for a 3-day workshop to look at how to end child marriages. They are here to share and learn best practices on ending child marriages. Eastern Province Permanent Secretary Paul Tole was represented by Assistant Secretary Clement Chilembo during the official opening of the workshop.
The government of the Republic of Zambia is aware of the role being played by our partners, such as Plan International and traditional leaders, in ending child, early and forced marriages in Southern Africa. The traditional leaders perform a variety of critical roles which are regulated by customary law, including dispute settlement, provision of adult education, natural resource management, local development, agricultural development, democratic governance, and traditional religious tasks.
The chiefs have welcomed the initiative by Plan International to end child marriages.
We know that we don't allow any early marriages. In Malawi, I think each chiefdom we have our bylaws, which if you can find anyone marrying to under 18, or there is any early marriage of under 18, boy and a girl, we said no, we don't want this, and we call the parents, both sides, discuss it and punish them with a goat, each of them, and we dismantle that marriage, take them to go to school. If the young woman she got a pregnancy, we said no, after she birth, then she must go back to school.
Makolo y'abaana poticholinga bwino wa skulu makamaka monga dera kwatu ku Mozambiki kambaka mavuto ya nkhondo yatenga zaka zambiri makolonso nawo sadziwa bwino umoyo wa skulu kuti niwo mabwanji
yamikira bapulani yamikira mwini kalonga gawuni pa msonkhano uwu yamikira so abo chifabo maina kaleko vomera msonkhano sitaka tabwanji sinaka kuchita so tiyamikira zigawa zonse zomwe zabwera pamodzi kuti msonkhano uchite bwanji ukhaleko.
And Plan International Zambia Eastern Province Program Area Manager Dennis Lembani has outlined the purpose and expected outcomes of the workshop.
And prominently, this vice is more insurance, Chadiza, Katete, Vubwi, and also, Petauke also, where there are chiefs that are also reported to Kanonga ground as well as Rondas. So we agreed with our team members also from Plan Malawi, Plan Mozambique, because we're in the same region. So we said, how can we engage the traditional leadership?
Sylvester Chimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
We continue with the news. The judiciary has launched a fast-track court at the Kabwe Civic Center to adjudicate on cases related to public nuisance and traffic offences in the district. Central Province Judge in charge, Kelvin Limbani, says the court is meant to ensure compliance with the applicable laws in relation to street vending, public nuisance, management of solid wastes, and road traffic offences.
In order to accelerate the delivery of justice and reduce delays in the dispensation of justice, the judiciary has launched a fast-track court at the Kabwe Civic Center to adjudicate on cases related to public nuisance and traffic offences in the district.
The fast-track court, as we've already heard, will expedite the disposal of cases which would ordinarily have been heard at the magistrate court that unfortunately has a limited courtroom or court space. With offences under the Local Government Act number 2 of 2019, the Food Safety Act number 7 of 2019, the Road Traffic Act number 11 of 2002, as read with Amendment Act number 8 of 2022, and the Urban and Regional Planning Act number 3 of 2015. The creation of this court, therefore, is not meant to victimize anyone in our district, but merely to ensure compliance with the applicable laws in relation to, among others, street vending, public nuisance, management of solid waste, conduct of business, and road traffic offences.
Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Tambala says lawlessness will not be condoned in the district.
The Kabwe Fast Track Court being launched today is clear indication that lawlessness in the district will no longer be tolerated. Let me endeavor by urging all civic leaders to encourage the people in their wards and adhere to the laid down laws and regulations. The Fast Track Court is here, colleagues, and we will deal with anyone found wanting.
And Kabwe Mayor Patrick Shala says the district faces a number of governance challenges.
The governance challenges that Kabwe faces are numerous, ranging from gender-based violence, breaking traffic rules, street vending, illegal collection of levies, to indiscriminate disposal of waste, to mention but a few. Quick resolving of such issues is possible if the court system is characterized by informality, low cost, and speed.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
Still in the news, hundreds of Kanyala residents in Isoka district of Mchinga province have bemoaned the poor service delivery in their localities due to the bad state of the road. Speaking on behalf of the residents living along the borderline area, Pastor Mbuto Siwale appealed to government to urgently address numerous challenges they face. He cited the 3 prefabricated health posts at Chiswata, Kanyala and Nalutete that have stood over a decade. Here's a report.
Good road network is said to be the backbone of economic prosperity of every area. Kanyala and Zoche community have for decades been yearning for improved road network that has denied them economic and social benefits such as health, clinics, and power. All points to these gullies that have developed on this road. Villagers are not pleased with government for not responding to their cries that has forced them to access health services to neighboring Malawi.
Ichipata chapakwisa ukanyala aba ku Malawi bale tutamvi. Ngatwaya ku Malawi bazambe tamakwata amana. Bale tutamvi kuya kuchipatala. So upakutupele chipata pa Kanyala tualitemenwe.
3 prefabricated clinics initiated by MMD government have stalled for over a decade at a slab level.
Niapo ayashala kwa bulokupwa ayashala fe ya 3 kuno kwine just within the Kanyala area. Kanyala, Chaswata na Lutete. Enga fefyo kweba tifipo fipatale fi musebo. Teti ama track yende ukweba tiyaisa leta kwa material kuno kunchende.
Worse off, the Nzoche clinic that used to provide them with the partial health services had part of its roof blown off in 2021 and up to date it's not rehabilitated, subjecting citizens to further problems.
Babugani ngafandi twawaya kwino kuchitipa nako wakutusamazya kuti tuye kuchitipa koko kuti ngakumwino ngapotwa uli anje kumwino.
Vehicles delivering farming inputs, drugs, and other materials for developmental purposes fail because of this road. Government's quick response to rehabilitate Sansamwenje via Nzoche to Kanyala border post road would be grateful. Fred Piri, Zanis News in Isoka, Mchinga Province.
Thank you, Freddie Piri, there with that report. Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao is impressed with the implementation of education projects under the Constituency Development Fund in Mbala District. Mr. Mbao said this when he led a team of government officers on an inspection of community projects under the education sector. Take a look.
This is Chalamanga Primary School in Mbala District, which began in 1991 as a community initiative. The school has only 2 classroom blocks, with the initial one in a deplorable state. The old structure is, however, still in use due to the increased enrollment level. A few kilometers away, the situation at Chipoma Primary School is not very different. But the situation is about to change, courtesy of the 2022 Constituency Development Fund.
Both communities are very, very excited because before they were actually complaining to say, is it that we are bordering with Tanzania? But with the coming of New Dawn government, everyone, the president has spoken of inclusiveness. Everyone in the district is being catered for.
So for all the schools that will be implemented, we are going to include the component of water, and it also includes desks. We've gone around the projects and we're impressed with the works that we are currently seeing.
We are taking into consideration the environment aspect. So each contractor is also planting 150 trees. So that is a requirement.
And Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao is impressed with the developments.
Here we have local contractors everywhere doing massive kind of work. This is quite exemplary. So let's just continue. We want to thank our president to say the trajectory that he has taken. So that we must take development to the people, make sure that local people are empowered, is actually yielding fruit.
Mr. Mbao and his delegation later visited Chila Primary School, where another 1x2 classroom block has been built under the Constituency Development Fund. Nkweto Momba for Zanis in Imbala.
In our health news, a cervical cancer survivor, Peggy Nkandu, has encouraged women to go for cervical cancer screening to ensure the disease is discovered early to begin treatment. Mrs. Nkandu says it is better to treat cervical cancer during its early stage, unlike waiting when it advances. More in the following report.
Cervical cancer is the most common cancer in Zambia, accounting for 23% of all cancer cases. Current estimates indicate that every year, 3,161 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer and 1,904 die from the disease. Cervical cancer ranks as the first most frequent cancer among women in Zambia and the first most frequent cancer among women between 15 and 44 years of age. It is for this reason that a cancer survivor in Kabwe, Peggy Nkandu, has encouraged women to regularly go for screening.
From the time I had that operation, from 2013 to date, I think it's about 10 years now. Yes, so in the 10 years after that operation, apart from the wound, which also didn't take long, within a week it healed. And then I started telling my friends now that it's easier and maybe better to know your status before it's too late. Because I thank God that I had the courage to do it, and I did. And from 2013 to date, I've gone for checkups once, twice, 3 times, 4, or many times. I've been told I'm fine. I would encourage the women out there that it's easier to find the disease faster, so that in the early stage, so that you can be treated.
Trines Mwape NS at Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Clinic Cervical Screening Center has called on government to open up more facilities to encourage more women to go for screening.
Cervical cancer affects the cervix of a woman. It is brought through sexual intercourse and protected sex. It is caused by an HPV virus, that's human papillomavirus, which comes from a man to a woman. It will stay for about 10 to 15 years on the cervix, minus the woman knowing that she has it. They will enjoy everything, they will enjoy sex, they will have children, but they don't know. As long as the woman doesn't come for screening, she will have it later in life, especially when the body immunity is low. We've got on Kabwe Central Hospital, which has got a lip clinic, which is overwhelmed sometimes. If they can open at Kabwe Mine Hospital and the 2 district hospitals in Kabwe, maybe Makuru Min and Makuru Nan, so that the numbers are reduced that side. And the other thing...
And some women share their thoughts on cervical cancer.
The thing that I know about cervical cancer is that it contracts the cervix part of the woman private part. So it's a disease that affects the private part of the woman, especially the cervix.
Cervical cancer, madende yashani. So kumangala bija kuti kusaziba mangala nayo. So it's very advisable. Taenda kuchipatala, taenda checking yesa. Afona ishwa kwa cervical cancer. Like if bana kashitula kwata ma symptoms, heavy breathing. Then kukwata like umsana ula kalipa then nomu mumbali mwefumu. So most of the time we are advised kupimisha when.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
And lastly, in sports, Chipata United Football Club has continued to dominate the Eastern Province League after beating Prison Leopards with 2 unanswered goals in a Week 22 fixture. The Eastern League log leaders are currently on 55 points after recording 17 victories, 4 draws and 1 loss. Chipata United is currently enjoying the 11 points margin against second place Petauke United that beat St. Francis FC of Katete 2-0. Petauke Young Kwazi is in third place with 10 wins, 6 draws and 5 losses and is on 36 points. Mekalile FC drew 1-0 with Smiling Kids Academy, while Chipata City Council drew 0-0 when they faced Malambo United. And Nyimba United lost 1-0 to visiting Katete Rangers, and Sinla United beat Imena Golden Stars 2-1 in a tightly contested match, while relegation-threatened sides Eastern Eagles and Chadiza United played to a 1-1 stalemate. And that sporting item brings us to the end of the news. We recap on the top stories. President Hichilema expected on the Copper Belt. Over 700 households left homeless in Choma. Chiefs convene to tackle child marriage. And lastly, Chipata United Football Club dominate Eastern League. We end the news just there, but you can access these and many other stories on our website, zanis.com.zm. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is Amos Zulu. Bye-bye.